Residence and work permit to work in Sweden. EU citizens. As an EU citizen, you have the right to work, study or live in Sweden without a residence permit. You also have the right to start and operate a private business. The right of EU citizens to stay in Sweden without a residence permit is called the right of residence. If you are employed, self-employed, a student or can support yourself financially, you have right of residence and don't need to contact the Swedish Migration Agency. Non-EU citizens. In general, non-EU citizens must apply for a work permit in order to work in Sweden, although some special rules apply for certain occupations and citizens of certain countries. You must have been offered a job before you can obtain a work permit. You cannot enter Sweden until the permit has been granted. You cannot obtain a work permit to go to Sweden and look for a job. To obtain a work permit, you must have a valid passport, have been offered terms of employment that are at least on par with those set by Swedish collective agreements, or which are customary within the occupation or industry, have been offered a salary that is at least on par with that set by Swedish collective agreements, or which is customary within the occupation or industry. You must be offered a position that will enable you to support yourself. In order to satisfy this support requirement, you need to work to an extent that will result in a salary of at least Swedish kronas 13,000 per month before taxes. Have an employer who intends to provide insurance covering health, life, employment, and pension when you begin to work. Your employer initiates the application by submitting an offer of employment to the Swedish Migration Agency. In most cases, the application fee is Swedish kronas 2,000. Employment for less than 3 months. For employment that lasts less than 3 months, citizens of certain countries must have both a work permit and a visa. Contact the Swedish Embassy or Consulate General for more information about visas. Swedish Population Register. To be registered in the Swedish Population Register, you need to have the permit for at least 1 year and stay in Sweden for at least 1 year. If you will be granted a work permit for a period of time less than 1 year, you will not be registered in the Swedish Population Register and will not have rights to social benefits. For this reason, it is important that you have insurance to cover any costs that may arise in the event of illness or an accident. You should apply for and be granted a work permit before entering Sweden. You can find out more about the requirements, how to apply and processing times on the Swedish Migration Agency working in Sweden. Good to know. Your work permit is for a specific employer and occupation. You may need to apply for a new one if you change jobs. Bringing family members. If you are eligible for a work permit, your spouse or cohabiting partner and children up to the age of 21, as well as children over 21 who are financially dependent on you, can also join you for the duration of your stay. If your work permit is for more than 6 months, your family members can also obtain work permits. You can read more about how to apply on Swedish migration permits for family members. To know more about Sweden, just subscribe, and if you like this video, give thumbs up.